Internet, and welcome to episode 157 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Myopic is a new word that I learned this week. It's actually not a new word, but it's a new word to me. Myopic definition, lacking foresight, being unoriginal. Am I going to try to infuse that word into this episode? You damn skippy the B-Man is. Myopic. I will try to sneak that word into this episode. I made my triumphant return to Yankee Stadium. First time in the 2025 season. We lost, which tends to happen when I go to Yankee Stadium. The Yankees tend to lose all those games, but it was a lovely time. I went with my sister, and she paid for it all. Yes, I am a mooch. These people love to brag about independence and how they pay for everything themselves. That is not me. I'll mooch off of everybody. I would not be able to survive without my mom, my dad, my siblings, my relatives, my close friends. You offer me a drink, I'll take it. I will take it from you. You offer me a vacation to go on a vacation, and I go, I'll pay for it. And I go, okay, I will go. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. But it was hot, man. It was a hot evening. I didn't even buy a tall boy beer, which I almost always do at Yankee Stadium. It was one of those peak July. It must have been like high 80s, humidity. We were in the second row. Not second row, but like second level, third base side, but like infield. So it was great seats. Thank you very much to my sister for those. Had a lovely time, but my back was all wet and sticky. I had my Bernie Williams jersey on, which you've seen me wear this during episodes before, and it's a little thick with the humidity, and I was drinking water, and I didn't even have to take a piss the entire game because all the sweat was just... It was going out my back. It was just, I was out my pores. It was sticky. The ball was flying right field. Anyone who hit it to right field, the ball was, Anthony Volpe, who's becoming my favorite player in baseball. He is electrifying. Anthony Volpe, when this comes out, if he's still on the Yankees, your ball gets hit to him. You want to see he's going to hit an error, but then he's also hitting home runs. So he's the most captivating player in Major League Baseball right now. Does not mean he's the best player. He certainly is not. He might be among the worst players right now. But sometimes a player is so bad in the field that you can't turn away. And it reminds me of when the left side of the Yankees infield was Derek Jeter and A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. Sometimes me, my brother, and my family and sisters, we'd sit in like the outfield, right, in left field, and I see the back of their jersey. So you see Jeter, 2, A-Rod, 13. And in my head, I'd be watching, go, remember this. Those are two of the best players ever. It's not always going to be like this. And now that we have Anthony Volpe at shortstop, it is not. They're not the best players ever. Anyways, that's enough baseball talk. This is not a baseball podcast, although sometimes we delve into baseball cards. You're damn right. When I'm at Yankee Stadium, second level, I am paying attention to everybody in my section. I'm looking for all the babes, all the strumpets, all the floozies, all the fatties, all the drunks, all the hussies, the hood rats. I'm looking at them all. There was a lady right in front of me. She had a lot of makeup on. Like she was hot, but way too much makeup. And the fake eyelashes, so you know she was a hussy. She was hot. But the amount of makeup she had on for this baseball game was a little off-putting. Not for me. Like, she was hot. Thank you. Thank you very much for wearing all that makeup and wearing your short Daisy Duke shorts. But I had empathy for her. I'm like, her pores, because she's probably broke out after that game because of the sweat, the humidity, and all the makeup. But then behind us, like 5 or 6 rows back, there were a group of just mid-20, just sluts, right? They weren't wearing bras, which I thank you very much. I'm not judging you, but they were sluts in like a good way. Like, hey, let's go Friday night. Let's go to a Yankee game. Like, fun sluts. Like, not offensive sluts, just have fun. Let's go show, like, let's dress skimpy at a Yankee game and have some good time, some tall boys. Again, I use that word slut endearingly. But then, in the eighth inning, I noticed another section. There was a hot Asian babe, and again, I point out her race or ethnicity, whatever Asian is, because I see color. The B-man, I am not colorblind. I see color, especially attractive color. And she was an attractive Asian, a lady, a petite, like healthy B cups, a B cup at a Yankee or at any baseball game or any sports. It's amazing. B cups are. I'm thinking out loud, so I'm trying to say something profound here, but B cups just look better at a sporting event. I don't know what it is. It just, like, B cups in public they're nothing to look at. They're nothing to gawk at. But at a sporting event, especially a baseball game, outdoors, there's something magnetic about them. So, but anyway, this lady, she had money. Right, she had money, and I saw her there. You know, she had a bit of the lip filler, right? So, you know, she's kind of floozy like that. She had the lip filler. You could tell her hair was well done. She had like a bag from the concession stand. She had two kids with her, so she had the bag, the food. She probably spent, I don't know, $300-400 just like besides the tickets to get in, just with food. And she had a Yankee shirt on that was new, and her kids were like young, like 3, 4, 5 years old. But like, she was there, but I did not notice her husband. And her husband was there, but I didn't notice him because her husband has no riz at all. And I didn't notice her husband until they left early. They left the eighth inning. The Yankees were getting blown out. So they left. So I'm seeing this Asian babe. I'm like, oh wow, she's a single mom, and I'm trying to make eye contact with her, trying to use my magnetism to attract this hot Asian babe. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I know what I was thinking, but it was never going to happen. But then she's leaving. Again, midway through the eighth inning, she's got the plastic bag with all the gear that her husband bought, and I see the husband, and he's just a guy. He is just a little overweight, a little chubby. He's a fatty, but not like obscenely fat. Had a bit of a hunch. Just, you could tell this babe was with this guy solely for the lifestyle, for his money, for what he's able to provide her, not physically, intimately, just the comforts of life that this gentleman was able to provide her. And while and I say this because I could tell they were not in love. They probably were never in love, this couple that I'm discussing right now, because throughout the game, the guy wasn't staring at her, but the guy was noticing her. And she was talking with her kids and interacting with her kids, but there was no interaction between the wife and the husband with no riz. And to the point where, like, throughout most of the game, I thought she was a single mom or just there, maybe married, but not there. The husband, maybe, I don't know where. I didn't know the husband was in the picture. Like, there was no 9-inning game, 3 hours, no interaction between the non-riz husband and the hot Asian wife until they were leaving together. And no interaction between the kids and the husband. So clearly, this babe, this bimbo, again, say that with affection. A bimbo, am I going to continue to use that word? I don't know. But she's there. From an observer's perspective, to be, man, that's who I was. Definition of an observer. I was observing her periodically throughout the game, especially when the score got out of control. And then afterwards, I was thinking, is she winning? And more importantly, is he winning? Like, clearly, she's winning. Like, she got her kids. She gets to go to Yankee games in very, expensive seats. She had a huge rock on her hand, on her ring finger. Clearly, there's a lifestyle that this gentleman is allowing her to live. And I mean, am I being a misogynist? Am I assuming that he's the breadwinner in a relationship? I am. But I think my assumption is correct, or else I wouldn't be telling you about this. So I'm like, she's winning. Like, she's winning life. All right, she's going out, she's being seen, she's able to live a certain lifestyle, pamper her body, the nails and all that jazz. She has kids they seem like they were adorable. I'm assuming she probably cheats on her husband quite often with the stud, so she's kind of have her cake and eat it too. Like she has a guy who's the provider, with no riz, and she's probably able to get her vagina taken care of by the guy with the riz who doesn't need to be seen in public. But then I look at the husband as he's meekly walking behind his hot Asian wife and two adorable children that seem to give him no attention. Like, is he winning? So maybe he gets to pipe down this hot babe a few times a year, at least to reproduce. And maybe he gets to take a photo with his hot wife, and he makes his friends from high school and the people in his life a bit jealous. Like, wow, can you believe he got that babe? But it just seems like he's not winning. That's what I'm getting at. He is not winning. You can have a hot babe. You can have a hot, cute children. Take family photos together, and you look like the man, but you are not the man. And I'm not disparaging this guy, even though I said he has no riz, and this hot babe married him only for his money or the status he's able to provide her. So maybe in his head, he thinks he's winning. Maybe going into it, he thought, wow, I got a hot babe, and this is going to be great. But like, she used you. This hot babe Asian woman used this guy to get the lifestyle. And what's he getting in return? Like, he's not even being acknowledged when he's giving her like a night out, at a Yankee game with the family. So I'm sure that guy has a lot of thoughts about where his current state of life. I certainly hope he does, because I've given his life a lot of thought. So if a legit stranger is thinking about this guy with the no riz, his life, he's got to be thinking about his life and like, what did I get myself into? It's because he's stuck. It's like, well, this is the hottest babe I can possibly get, but like, she doesn't respect me. And honestly, that's just why. Find somebody with a fun personality. All right, find somebody with a bit of a muffin top. All right, you'll be better off long term than with a hot Asian babe who's using you for your status and your money, and using you. All right, if you're going to be used, use each other together. So his life, he's losing. He's winning the Christmas card photo, but he's losing the 364 other days of the year. He's a loser. And that's what I have to say about that. And Yankees, come on. Step it up. We got to start winning some more games. That was a wild open, huh? All right. Moving along. This one's going to be fun. This comes from the subreddit. Grow your clit. I took a side profile picture of my clit, and it makes me so excited. Do tell. When I first started out, I got really excited and was applying like 3 to 4 pumps. I had to stop because it was stopping my cycle, and then I forgot to update my prescription. I got my prescription again and decided I'd go low and slow, and it is paying off so well. I feel like my clit has gotten bigger, more sensitive, and I've been insatiably horny recently. I love how big I love how a big clit feels, especially when I can feel how hard it is under my vibe in my fingers. Applying the cream is so fun. Link for a picture on my own profile. We cannot show that here. And I actually did not, press the link. No, she's speaking. I read some of the replies. She's speaking about a testosterone cream. That's what she's applying to her clit. I did not know this was a thing. Like, hand up. I've been quite honest about my ignorance when it comes to the vagina. I find it very confusing down there, your epicenter, the vagina. I've been outspoken about that. I've acknowledged that I was 27 years old when I learned that babes don't pee out of their vagina. Like, there's another hole down there that they pee out of, their urethra. Like, the big vagina hole, the babes do not pee out of that. I learned that fact at age 27. So that's who we're dealing with. So maybe I'm not the proper person to be talking about vaginas. Like, honestly, like, I vaguely know all the parts of the vagina, kind of. Like, the vulva is the outer part of the vagina, the visible part. You got the outer labia, the inner labia, you got the hood, the clit. Like, if you gave me a map of a vagina and told me to label it, I might get a 70% score, and that would be with the assistance of ChatGPT. That's how unsure of my confidence level when it comes to the vagina. But I did not know. Like, this post, I have more questions than I have comments or answers for you. I was unaware. Like, do you babes, do you bimbos care about the size of your clit? Like, I didn't know that babes were self-conscious or enthusiastic about the size of their clits. I didn't know that was is that a thing? Like, when you're talking to your girlfriends, and this is me asking, it's a legit question. Like, do you talk about the size of your clit? Do you compare your clit to each other? Like, do you enjoy having a clit that is the size of your knuckle? That is the size of like a pig, a pig in a blanket, or like a micro penis. Like, I would just assume. I guess I never thought about it. Yeah, now that I think about it, and again, maybe this is the misogyny of the B-man coming out, showing through, full color. That I assume that all you babes would like to have a smaller clit. Somehow I think a smaller clit is more feminine than a larger. Like, the larger the clit is, the more it starts to look like a micro penis. So I got to imagine most babes prefer a clit that doesn't look like a small penis. Therefore, you want a smaller clit. Now, the B-man, personally, I love a large clit. It makes it easier to lick and suck on, and I love to suck on a clit. So I prefer the larger the clit, the more enthusiastic the B-man is. But I gotta think, for most women, that you want a smaller clit. And another question: what this babe is talking about here, like, is that true? That is, the larger your clit is it more sensitive? Well, like, is that factually accurate? Like, I never, like, when it comes to penises, like, I have a penis, so I always thought that regardless of the length and the girth of a penis, I was always under assumption that all penises kind of have the same amount of feeling. I do know, they do say that uncircumcised penises are more sensitive than circumcised penises. But I've never heard anything about, like, oh, an 8-inch wiener is more sensitive than a 5-inch wiener. So, but now that I think about it, like, it does make sense that a larger clit would be more sensitive than a smaller clit, because it's got more space. So more space for nerve endings, which would mean More nerve endings would mean it's more sensitive, which means you're more horny. So it does make sense anatomy wise why a larger clit would lead to more sensitivity and therefore more pleasure. So I don't know. I'm speaking out loud. These are questions that I have that I've never really given much thought until now. Huh. And what percentage, if you're a babe, if you're a bimbo watching this right now, like, are you self-conscious about your clit so much so, like, if you have a tiny, tiny clit that can barely be seen, that you can barely feel yourself, are you so self-conscious of it that you'd be willing to go to a doctor and get testosterone cream to rub on your clit to get it larger and more sensitive? Well, like, I kind of think that's minimal, right? Like maybe, I don't know, like less than 10%, fewer than 10% of you babes would go to those extremes. Like, I know penises. There are plenty of guys who use pumps. Like, you put a pump on your, like, for a half hour, a few times a day for several months, and there's and pills and surgeries you can do to enlarge your penis. We're still in the infancy stage of turning itty bitty penises into like porn dick penis. And I do know that many men, 50 Cent, many men do think about the size of their penis and how to grow it. But with clits, it's got, is that a thing? Like, whoa, is that a thing you babes discuss often in the privacy with your own girlfriends? Do you talk about in the group chat? Do you talk about your clits? And if you have a small clit, are you embarrassed to shower with all your other girlfriends because you don't want them to know you have a small clit when you have someone who's taking testosterone, hers is just kind of poking through her hood? I don't know. Please let me know down in the comments. I want to know what your thoughts are about your clit and the size of it. Huh. I don't want to say I'm speechless. I'm in deep thought. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all right. Well, I'm happy this lady has the testosterone cream is working and her clit from the side is looking huge. Having a huge clit, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be, because it seems great. Like, yeah, this babe's clit is so big that, she walks down the street and the clit probably rubs against her jeans, so like she's getting off while she's walking. That seems like it's fun. But very quickly, that's got to become annoying and a nuisance to you to, like, not be able to wear tight jeans because it makes you, your clit rub and you get the gasm. So I don't know, but hey, good for you. Good for you. I'm glad that you're proactive. And all of you babes that are being proactive with the testosterone cream and trying to grow your clit, we support you. We support you here at Verbal Graffiti. Go get that clit. Let's go look at some photos. Episode 157, segment 2. Come on, like, subscribe. We're at episode 157. And we're only at 45 subscribers. We got to do better than that. We got to up these numbers. So get off your ass, start clicking your thumb and your index finger, and start spreading the word. We got to get likes. We got to get subscriptions. We got to get comments. I'm an online panhandler. Without the likes and the subscriptions, I'm not panhandling anything. So we need some more. I need some more effort from you. All right. So get off your ass. Get off your ass and go win this game. All right. Enough of that. Please help me out. I had the B-man, that is. I had a peculiar conversation. It was a normal conversation, but a peculiar statement that piqued my interest, or kind of I found interesting, because it was not the answer I expected. All right, what was the comment? What was the conversation? I was talking to this gentleman, late 50s. His daughter, mid 20s, got married. last weekend or 2 weekends ago at this point, which is the right age to get married. Get married young, mid-20s at the latest. Once you hit 30s, 40s, 50s, getting married is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, all the good partners, all the good, none of them want you, so you're left with the island of misfits, people who are damaged, father issues, mother issues, broken homes, commitment issues. You're settling, right? When you get to the point, right, when you start to get 30, right, but get to the fucking point, B-man. Get to the fucking point. Stop criticizing. No. All right. So anyway, his daughter was getting married, who I don't know his daughter, mid-20s. And I asked what to do, like walk her like down the aisle and do the whole like holding each other's hand down the aisle. And he said, yeah, I did that. Of course. Like I'm the dad. I'm in her life. Like, of course I did that. I was like, okay. I was just checking. And then I asked him, I asked this father who walked his daughter, the daughter. What do you call that? The daughter of the I guess the father of the bride, right? He walked his daughter down the aisle, and then I asked him, "What were you thinking about while you walked your daughter down the aisle to marry this John, whom I don't know the wife to be and the John? I don't know them. I was more interested in what were you thinking about?" And he said he was thinking just. He just said, I was just taking in the day. I was just seeing everybody in the crowd, you know, in the pews and my daughter, and I was just taking in the day. I was taking in the moment. And I found that to be a very interesting answer, because that's not what I thought he would be thinking about, nor do I think it's what any father would be thinking about in that moment. Now, I don't have a daughter. I don't have any offspring. My genetics have not been passed forward to the next generation as of yet. So I was always, and not that I've given it much thought because I'm not married, and the thought of marriage, it doesn't consume me. I don't feel like I'm a failure because I'm not married. I don't feel it's nothing. It's something that's never really interested me, getting marriage or the day of a marriage, the ceremony and all that. But I always, as he was talking about bringing walking his daughter down the aisle, if I was a father walking my daughter, imaginary daughter, down the aisle, I always assumed I would be thinking about my daughter like as a toddler. Like whatever, like we're playing at a pool or she's at a basketball game or wherever. I'd be walking her down and go, wow, she's a real adult. But then I would think of all those fun moments we had, when she was young, just a young girl. And when I owned her, right? Like a father, I owned her, but now I'm giving her away. And I say that facetiously, but I always thought that's what I would think about. And I always thought that's what all fathers think about as they walk their daughters down the aisle to marry a John. And either that or just, wow, like that John, like my daughter's going to get railed by that guy in a few hours. But I was a little taken back. That's what he was thinking about, was just the day in that moment and just taking it all in. And maybe that's maybe that's a healthier way of thinking. I honestly don't even know if it's healthier. I just thinking of your daughter as a young daughter when she's young or in that moment walking. I think they're both healthy. It never occurred to me that you would just try to take in the moment. Very, very, very Buddha of this gentleman. That I was talking to are very surrounded. That probably is a healthier, like embrace the moment, like live for today. That's that's a healthier way to live. So I just found that answer interesting, and I'm passing it along to you. Now let's move along. So to some parents whose actions are questionable, Let's delve further, huh? That was a bit of a tease, a ball tease for you. All right. This comes from the subreddit Henry Finance. A working parents and summers. Is the world against us? Question mark. Where two full-time jobs household combined income $260,000 a year annually, with a 3-year-old in daycare and a 6-year-old in a summer program that is not what we hoped. Last year, the program our 6-year-old was in had structure, planned activities, water days, creativity, and even a sense of joy. This year, as it got sold, and now it feels like a glorified babysitting, less planning, minimal communication, and our kids coming home cranky and overstimulated. We're doing our best to keep things afloat, but it honestly feels like the world is set up against families with two working parents. Even with a good income, we're scrambling to piece together coverage, manage work meetings, and avoid the guilt spiral of feeling like we're shortchanging our kids. It's exhausting. How are others navigating this? Are the programs that you've found that don't fall apart under new ownership creative solutions? Or do you just accept that summers will be survival mode until both kids are old enough to roam free range? Question mark. Well, Mom, Miss, maybe we can describe your parenting style as glorified babysitting as well. All right. It seems to me from your posts that you are outsourcing your parenting of your 3 and 6-year-old to a hungover camp counselor making $16 an hour while you give all of your time and energy to a corporation that views you nothing more than a number on an Excel spreadsheet. That's you and your husband alike. But hey, in return for that, you and your husband get that high salary, 6-figure, $130,000 a year, and you get the prestigious title of a vice principal of operations, and you get to drive around in your mid-sized luxury SUV, and you get to write fancy posts on LinkedIn and forums like that about your fancy title and how you're the highest selling sales associate of your corporation, and you've gotten the presidential award. This is the long way of me saying that you're fucking up your parenting. Like, you honestly, like you're fucking up parenthood. All right, like, the best part of parenting is those long summer, the dog days of summer, when you get to watch your kids do the water activities and you get to watch them, like play, just waste the days away, those long summer afternoons. That is when they're 3 and 6 years old, so they have personalities and they really, they can remember activities that you do together, right? Parents and kids together, not outsourcing it to some drunk floozy or some drunk hungover frat bro that doesn't give a fuck about your kid. Like that guilt. That guilt that you're feeling, you gotta listen to that guilt, because that guilt is telling you that you're a shitty mother, that you're a negligent mother, because that's what you are. You're literally outsourcing your kids to have somebody else parent them. But hey, I'm sure your corporation that employs you, that gives you a company provided iPhone, provided that you reply to their messages within minutes, even on weekends and after midnight, like the nice little obedient cog in the system that you are, and they give you a plaque, some presidential award for being one of the best employees of the year. That plaque lasts forever, unlike the smile of your toddlers, which is fleeting. Yeah, you're fucked up. What you got to do is listen as I itch my nose. You got to quit your job. because you're failing your kids. You are failing the obligations of being a mother. You're giving all your time and energy to your corporation when you should be giving it to your kids. But what about the money, B-Man? What about the money? Well, clearly, you're successful. Do you have any confidence in yourself, Mom? How about you quit your job, working full-time, and become a contractor? Work per diem. Maybe your husband quits his job and he gets a job working overnight so you can split parenting shifts so nobody, daycare and summer camp counselors don't have to come into the equation. Maybe your husband drives a truck at night or stocks shelves at a grocery store and you work per diem so you're allowed to work from home and you can watch over your kids as they play in the yard and jump through the sprinkler and you can watch your children grow up. That's what your kids care. They don't give a fuck about the money. Yeah, the money's nice, but the older they get, they're going to remember that you want your kids to remember you. The time you spent, the museums, the water parks, the summer camp, none of that matters. What matters is the time you and your kids spend together. And the longer you continue to give all your time to your corporation instead of your kids are going to grow up. And those memories that you could have made, you're not going to be able to get those back. So you got one of you two have to quit your job or scale back your work, become a more flexible worker, maybe change work so you can work overnight. That's what my mom did. She was the older I get, the more thankful I am that my dad worked during the day as an accountant. My mom worked overnight 11 to 7 a.m. as a nurse and a director of nursing. So that they didn't see a lot of each other for a good number of years. But I'm not a daycare child. I am not a camp counselor child. As much of a weirdo as I am, I'm a pretty good human being, and I think I am thankful of my parents for that, for not outsourcing their parenting obligations to some hungover camp counselor that don't give a fuck about little B-Man when he was a little rascal running around. So that guilt you feel, that's telling you the truth, and you gotta listen to that, right? Get out of corporate America. Get out of corporate America and get into being a mother. Because right now, you are a negligent mother. You are a shitty mother. And your kids, they're missing out on the fond memories they should be having with you and dad because you care more about your finances than you do being a mother. So yeah. That's me on my soapbox, a person without any kids. So how about that, huh? Go suck a fat one.